What's up, guys? The kid here with a versus video. Now, this is the 3DS versus the PS Vita. Now, the Vita hasn't been doing too good out in Japan, but I guess that's really no big news. I mean, it seems like other than Nintendo, really no other gaming company does that well in Japan. So it's not much of a big surprise. Now, the Vita and 3DS are two handhelds, both completely different and different aspects, but the thing that they have in common is that they're, handheld consoles that are very powerful and have a wide range of fans. So, who will come out on top with this battle? These are my thoughts about it. The 3DS, Nintendo, the Vita, PS, basically a PS3 in the handheld, Sony. Now, I don't want to sound like a fanboy in this video, but I'm obviously going to PS, uh, Sony fanboys and whatnot. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys right now what I think. The 3DS is basically going to do the same thing it did. The DS did to the PSP. It's going to basically smoke it. Why is that? It's because one, it's affordable. The Vita just went down in cost in Japan, which is pretty bad. Nintendo had bad times, but it took a while for them to go down in price. But them, I don't know how many weeks it's been since the Vita's been out, but it is it hasn't been as much time as it was for the 3DS. So, the 3DS will smoke the PS Vita for a number of reasons that are valid and that are just plain facts and true. One is it's Nintendo. It's a Nintendo is known for their handhelds ever since the Game Boy, and I can't tell you how many years ago that was. So people already know quality with Nintendo. And again, with that answer is one of the main reasons is basically it's Nintendo. I mean, people grow up with Nintendo. You have people who are mothers and fathers now, people who are teenagers now who grew up in the 90s with Nintendo, me, and a lot of other gamers. So you automatically trust Nintendo because they've been there with your childhood, and their quality of games and systems have been spectacular for years and years. I guess you can call the Wii an exception, and I guess the Virtual Boy an exception. But you see that they're not really that many exceptions. So Nintendo is already a trusted brand. Now, if you think about Nintendo liking it to say McDonald's versus what, Jack in the Box or Burger King. Say Jack in the Box is Sony PS3 or whatever, and Burger King is Xbox, Microsoft. People know McDonald's more than that. People grew up with McDonald's, okay? And I know this is a weird comparison, but it's a good one. People grew up with McDonald's, so they trust McDonald's and they like their food. Same as Nintendo. People grew up with Nintendo, so they like their games, their franchises, such as Mario and stuff. And people like the Big Mac, chicken nuggets, and and all that stuff. So it's kind of the same concept if you think about it. People will eat mostly from McDonald's more than they will eat from the other contenders, Jack in the Box and Burger King, because for the most part they don't know much about or experience much of the other company itself more so than McDonald's. So it's a whole trust thing. Kids and mothers and parents will trust about Nintendo to get them a handheld than the PS Vita. than that, because they know it's Nintendo, and they're like, oh, Nintendo, yeah, I used to love that. I used to play that in the 80s and stuff. It was a cool little toy, back then. So when they have kids and stuff, they'll be like, well, here's a Nintendo. I grew up with this, and it's a history, and you know where I'm going with this. So one, people will trust Nintendo mainly because of their seniority and their product value, and just the insanely good games that they have and franchises. Um, Two, one of the reasons why um, people are saying this more so than me, but one is Nintendo has a lot of good games coming out for the 3DS. You're talking about Kingdom Hearts, for one, Monster Hunter 4 and 3. You're getting Resident Evil Revelations, which these are big games for Japan. So basically, the Nintendo 3DS already won over Japan with these games alone. But they have good third-party IPs coming to the system, like Dynasty Warriors. So you have won over. Nintendo has already won over uh, a country, basically, um, where the Vita is falling short. Now in Japan, people don't really know about Uncharted and stuff. That's not really their style of games and stuff. Uncharted, a bunch of shooters. Japanese people aren't into all those type of games. They're into RPGs, JRPGs, probably MMOs and stuff. They're into those type of games, adventure games, things like The Legend of Zelda. So they don't really play well with games like Uncharted or something, or a shooter. They're just not those type of gamers. They're more into fighters. They have their own genres, opposed to us in North America and Europe. We're mostly all around. We like everything, basically. They like a set category of genres that they like. So, you know, that's Japan. But what will it do? What will the Vita do in North America? Of course, it's going to sell well. Yes, I mean, it's down for a count in Japan, okay, but once it gets out in North America, it's going to sell well. Of course, will it sell more than the 3DS? I don't know. That's up in the air. The 3DS was said by probably every Sony fanboy and Microsoft fanboy that Nintendo is going down because the 3DS is not selling well, and then, man, wow. That price change, it just boomed. I mean, it was like boom. It went up. I mean, look, it's selling more than a Wii in its first year, and sold more than a 3D, not the 3DS, but the DS in the first few months of the price cut, I believe. And 4 million consoles sold since. So it's up in the air. Who will win this basically handheld war? I do bet my money on the 3DS. The 3DS is just, it's Nintendo, the masters of handheld consoles, masters of consoles itself. You can call the Wii whatever you want, but when reality comes to it, they're the ones with the first 16-bit system, great games, so you can say whatever you want, but when it comes to Nintendo, quality, customer service, everything, it's way better than Sony. Customer service is, wow, it's god awful. You will actually be paying for things before anything even gets fixed. That's how bad their customer service is. Well, Nintendo, they offer to fix your stuff, or you may have to pay a fee or something. At least their warranties are better, from what I've known, than Sony. And I think Microsoft is a little better. But I think the 3DS will overall win the handheld world, just like the DS did over the PSP. One is, it has all those key franchises, which the PSP, what it did that the DS didn't, and which really was the reason the DS won for Nintendo and all the other things I stated about the 3DS. It's because PSP relied on basically remakes or ports of games that were already either on the PS2 or PS3. So people, I got a PS3. Why would I buy this for the PSP? Better graphics, and people like that want graphics and stuff. So why would I buy this? I already bought this 2 years ago. Why am I buying another Snake game now with Metal Gear Solid and stuff coming for the 3DS to defend us as Nintendo gamers and 3DS fans? Most of us probably haven't played a Metal Gear game since probably the PS1 version. That's the only one I played. I haven't played any other one, and mostly they were all on the PS2. And I think Metal Gear 2, Metal Gear Solid 2 was on the GameCube, but I never got it. But it's just the whole battle. It's the whole battle. Who's gonna win, and who has the bigger guns? I mean, you have Sony. It has this 3G, big powerful system, but it's not always about the power of the system. It's not always about what the system can do. It's about really what the games are going to be able to be like. You already got ports coming. Like what Marvel vs. Capcom 3. You got Street Fighter X Tekken. I guess you can't really call that port because it's within the timeline zone of both console release and handheld release. But you got those. You already seen those coming. I hope the PS Vita don't make the same mistakes as the PSP did. But it looks like that's about to start happening. They need to focus on new IPs, which Sony seems to can't do. As a matter of fact, I think Sony only produces, or not produces, but invest in games. But I don't think they actually make games. I think they just invest in games, such as exclusives. That's it. I don't think Sony has ever made their own game like Nintendo. They don't make their own games. They rely solely on third-party support, which, why don't they take a crack at making a game? Maybe people will be more establish themselves more in the gaming world instead of just relying on other companies. Establish yourself. That's what Nintendo has done. They've shown that here we can make great systems, we can have great innovation, and we can make great games. What Sony has done is we can make powerful systems. We can mooch off third parties, and there we go. That's it. That's all you can really say. They make good, powerful systems, and third party games are good, I guess. Exclusives, that's good. Okay, that's it. You can't say they have great innovation because most of the things they copy from is Nintendo. I mean, you really cannot deny that. There's so many things that were just completely copied from Nintendo that it's not even funny. And people can argue this, but it's really just a fact that Sony copies what Nintendo does. It's just a fact. But who will win the war? That's what I think the 3DS will win the war because of the things I stated. Now, tell me what you guys think. Who will win the war? The 3DS or the PS Vita? What do you think? So tell me in the comments below. And if we do have a battle with the other side, the Sony side of people, please let it be civil because no one wants a bunch of raging fanboys because of what I said. I mean, let's not name call or anything like that. So tell me what you guys think. Like, subscribe, and see you guys next video. Thanks for watching.